Hi, and welcome to Divine Goddess Tarot. My name is Jessica, where I channel in your divine feminine and masculine energy through the goddess and the god. And I say that actually they should be plural because each one of those energies are multifaceted completely endlessly. So it is something that is a part of us, and especially that beautiful goddess energy that I really do promote because our world is in such need of tapping into that powerful energy. Because after all, our divine goddess energy, our divine feminine, is our power. It's our action. It's the power that is behind the punch in life. And our masculine energy is that focus, that consciousness, the direction in which we isolate that punch, so to speak. And so by tapping into these energies, we really balance the parts of ourselves that enable us to create the lives that we truly want. And imbalance in that does create a lot of chaos. So with equal measure, if we don't have our power and our focus, we can create a lot of, like I said, chaos in our life. So we must tap into that to truly move and act in a way that is beneficial and it's conscious. So by tapping into our goddess energy, we really do facilitate. It's kind of like a car. Without putting gas in the car, we just really don't get anywhere. And so that power energy is so essential. It is also the ultimate love energy because it is creation, not destruction. And I say that a little bit with a clause of with equal measure, without direction, we create chaos. So it's kind of like that hurricane that really doesn't have, it's just going. It's being a hurricane, and it doesn't care where it goes. It doesn't care who it hurts. In equal measure, our goddess energy can do the same thing. And so we really deserve to tap into the higher aspects of that power. And so today, let's get right into it with seeing what goddesses are going to join us for the message. And then I will define, of course, it with tarot to tap into, kind of narrow down the energy of the bigger picture of whose storyline that we're tapping into. Now, that doesn't mean it's not for you if it doesn't specifically resonate. It just means that to put what doesn't on the shelf and then see what can be those little nuggets of truth for you. All right, we have Morgan, Death and Magic. She is the goddess that will be highlighting a message for you here today. And I love that. Death is something I'm going to talk a little bit more about because it can mean metaphorically or it can mean a literal death. And in our culture, we really do deny death. You see it as a failure, and it's not. It's a part of life. And if we know without a shadow of a doubt, if we learn that we are such high beings, that we are here to have this experience, that there is no one that can take away or take our life without us being it being their journey, their time, or partnership of that. So there are no accidents. There's no one that's truly a victim on that higher realm. We are all in partnership with one another because it's the oneness. So let's see who is joining us with Morgan to get a fuller perspective of this message. More card, that one. And let's see. So it's Eponia, Wise Leadership. So, very interesting. Let me show you that one actually. Very beautiful cards. Let's get more into this for more clarity and see where we're going. So wise leadership, death, and magic are the kind of sponsoring energies. So, right there. Okay, so we've got Two of Pentacles, King of Cups. Oh, there's several. So these, not those, there's too many. Let's see where these are going. Okay, so the Magician, we already got magic going. We've got Three of Pentacles, and then we have the High Priestess. Love it so far. Let's see where we're going. I need 4 more cards. Right there on the bottom, I can feel it. All right. Oh, interesting. Okay, we've got the Ten of Wands. Saying a lot. Right there. 3 more cards. I'm speaking between this one. Okay, yep. 5 of Pentacles. We've got the Page of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. I want to clarify those wands. Someone's been beat up. And usually, most of us, if we've had any type of life at all, we have. If we're interesting, we've had an interesting life. So we've got the Nine of Cups, and we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Right there. Okay, so yeah, there's been, this one is the Five of Wands as well. So there's in the past, there's been a lot. There's been some drama. There has been a lot of fighting. There's been a lot of angst, disagreements, not aligning. And so I'm seeing that there's been a lot of turmoil, and some of you are just feeling beat up. And so with the Nine of Cups, there's, I don't know why I'm feeling with the High Priestess that this could be a community thing, especially with wise leadership. Like, this could be something with politics. This could be a frustration of where we're going. I'm seeing this as being a community. And, you know, you've got death and magic, but there's also death and taxes, and there's things of certainty. And so I'm feeling like that there's a lot of you individuals out there for who this is for that could be feeling a little bit lost with this situation of where our world is, and that we don't have wise leadership. That's something that we are all, I think, craving in our world. And because of it, a lot of us have felt with this Five of Pentacles, we're out in the cold. It feels a bit discouraging. And so what I'm seeing is we've got to tap into the Magician energy, that magic. And there has to be a death of an old system, which I believe that our world is coming to in many ways, in politics, in the way that our countries are being led. Especially here in the States, it's something that we deserve a new way. And that is life. We're not in the wrong place. It's just not working anymore. And I like to emphasize that because it's no different than on a smaller scale of life is fractal. It goes up and then it goes down. And so on a country or a worldwide basis, as far as our leadership, it's just not working anymore. And that's where that goddess energy really is deserved to come in to the aspect of leadership. There has to be a death of an old way of being. People throw around a lot of patriarchal stuff, and they just associate it with just men. It is predominantly at this time that, and also with religion, that there is just always this masculine energy. There's no femininity in it as far as goddess energy of that true compassion and creation. It's just boils down to a lot of times that greed and that very low that low vibrational, not a clear focus on a bigger picture. And if we're not careful, it's when you have the Two of Pentacles showing up, it has all these things and you're juggling these things, and it has a very fine line between it all just coming apart. And I feel that that's kind of where we're at. People are fed up with how things are going. They're fighting, they're in conflict, people feel beat up, then people don't want to, I'm not going to say anything, but or they are in war to find peace. They're warring to find peace. Well, that's in complete contradiction of finding peace. We can't war on something. We can't have the energy of war if we are trying to create something that is at a different vibration of war. And so the High Priestess here is really going into a higher state of being, of knowing, of balancing, that yin and that yang. The Page of Swords is creating new ideas. It is doing it differently. It is going, I have this idea. So perhaps we don't elect people that are too old. Maybe we need someone who's younger to create new ideas. And they may not completely align with the old way, but that's the point of it, is to get new ideas, fresh ideas, new ways of being. And whatever your political stance is, it is what is best for humanity, and it is truly freedom. It is wise leadership. And we have to tap into that magician energy of knowing that we're going to create it. Having that knowing that this death of this old way of being has to come. And sometimes, as we see with even our own relationships, that it has to have an upheaval. It has to have some turmoil. It has to just not work anymore before you're like, I've had enough. We've had enough. We got to do it different. No different with our relationship with government. There has to be new ideas, new people in. Having that King of Cups is such a beautiful energy of, it's water energy, it's emotions, it's love, it's our feelings, it's compassion, and having that emotional intelligence. And I feel that our world is very much lacking in it. And what I love about the Three of Pentacles is it is community. It is creating perhaps uplifting movements of, if you're going to go and talk about peace, do it in a peaceful way. That's how we create peace, is through the demonstrations of it, the energy of it, not war, not upheaval. And there's different ways of doing things. As they say, there's 100 ways to skin a cat or whatever. And we have to think of the possibilities of change and create those ideas. And being left out in the cold, we're not. We have the ability to change our worlds by changing this, and in our own death and rebirth. And it's being, in a way, I love these two cards because with the Nine of Cups and the Magician, it is finding our own contentment and our own knowing and believing that whatever is happening in the world, that it is divine, and it is in itself all-knowing, and that whatever is a reflection of our world is showing us, and that when we believe in magic, when we personally take the time to create contentment and peace and trust and faith into that we will have wise leadership, that's magic. And if we all get on board of creating that intention, that is the magician, that is that magic. But this is all karmic. This is all something that is a reflection of all of us as a whole. There's low vibration, and that's also part of this realm, is that we have our shadowy aspect as well as our light. And right now, it's working itself out. And just like our lives, we have to go within. We have to get clarity. We have to have that emotional stability in order for us to create. And so in your own life, wise leadership, look to keep searching for beautiful authors, or maybe perhaps if you're going, well, I want to follow a party, well, perhaps, well, we need to find another color, that's for sure. We need to have more options. and perhaps that's what we do, is in community, in gathering, in people who have the ability and position to create more. Perhaps they do that in the small aspect to creating something really big. And of course, like I said, like I always say, it starts with me, it starts with you. And just having that hope and that ripple effect of that energy of high vibration, we can find it. So let's go into Morgan and Aponia to see what further, because remember, we're fractal. Like that's why the universe, and you go up to a planetary level, and then we go all the way down to our cells, and we go all the way up in the new telescope that we can see so much more. It is no different. We are just this beautiful magic that is as above, so below. And so let's read that. I forgot my glasses, so I'm back. All right, 37. And here we go. Empowerment message. Consider your life a magical gift and your experience of a beautiful opportunity to leave the world a better place. You give that gift back when death comes and ends your time on this plane. Experiences, relationships, projects, and even long-cherished dreams are all subject to the natural laws of death and magic of the Celtic goddess Morgan. Now is the time for you to let certain parts of your life die and recognize the process as something to celebrate as well as mourn. Let go with love and gratitude. Leave your fears behind. For in death there is great magic, as nothing can ever be truly destroyed. From the ashes of the old, a new life and new dreams will come to be. Face this time of dying and death with love and courage. Be willing to be empty. Soon the goddess Morgan will fill you up with magic, and a new world will be born for you. This is her gift for you when you surrender your resistance and allow things to be as they are. Alignment message. Magic is everywhere and in all aspects of life, including death, dying, decay, and what is dark, hidden deep within our very natures. Yet, in our modern culture, we spend so much time in denial, concocting ways to avoid death, refusing to allow nature to be true. We've lost so much wisdom as a result. You are being invited to address the areas in your life that no longer serve and that need to die, without a promise of what will take in its place. Do you need to walk away from someone, a way of behaving or thinking? Like the caterpillar who has no idea how to be a butterfly, you must surrender to the process of metamorphosis. You must make room for the miracle, while at some time not demanding certainty. The magical death goddess Morgan offers you the alignment task of self-inquiry. What death are you resisting right now? What darkness do you need to bring to awareness? How has fear ruled your choices? Who could you be if you had the courage to look at life on life's terms? Your magic is so much stronger than you think. You can do this. Your dreams depend on it. Morgan will be with you every step of the way. I love this because it has so much. Death is a part of change, and if we can embrace death, it is such a huge growth. A book I recommend highly is Ram Dass's Polishing the Mirror, and then of course going down the Ram Dass rabbit hole is so beautiful, because he assisted me in looking at my own mortality and what it means. And then of course the other book I love so much is called The Power of the Crone, and I can't think of the author right now, but she is an amazing doctor, And she speaks of all of these aspects, and it's no different than just the phases of our life. We in going to this reading of our world, and there is things happening that are processes that have to occur in order for death to happen, of something new to be reborn. So know that your death is beautifully coming. And how will you face it is my question to you. How will you take on that absolute part of your journey here? Will you embrace it, or will you fight it? Big questions. All right, let's read Aponia for wise leadership. Okay, right there. It says, stepping into the world with a sense of surety and positive self-worth is what's called for now. Aponia, the Celtic Roman horse goddess of leadership and guidance, offers her wisdom. Know that you have what it takes to heed it. You can do anything you place your attention on, and you'll find it easy to accomplish what's needed for your attention to take form. Whether you are aware of this or not, the way you manage your accomplishments, and even the way you handle failures and losses, is modeling the way forward for others. There is wisdom growing within you. Being true to who you are and placing integrity and humility equal to the enthusiasm makes you a wise leader indeed, one that the goddess Aponia is so proud of. Being overly assertive, here's the alignment message, being overly assertive and determined to take action is not in your favor at this time. If you feel afraid of making a mistake or worried that you will somehow compromise yourself or disappoint someone, consider this time to regroup and assess the details. As the goddess Aponia knows, not all paths are meant to be explored. Not all battles are meant to be fought. Not all opportunities will pan out. Be aware of the tendency to overreach. You have come a long way, and the best leader knows when to take a break. Your task is to hold back and breathe deeply, trusting fully that when the time comes to act, the goddess Aponia will guide you. You don't want to act too soon out of fear or insecurity or even hubris, as you will surely slip and lose your stance. Take heart, for this is the perfect moment for a time out to see what the goddess Aponia truly has for you. The divine has you safe and secure. You just need to wait. I love this because to go back to this reading of our world and the state with which politics and our rights, our human rights, it is all, you'll know when to act and what resonates with you, with your truth. And perhaps what I have done is that, yes, I have this feeler out that keeps tab on our world. But if it becomes too much and it affects me in a way, I take a break from listening to it, from having that energy. If I'm not able to take it on, it is not mine. It is something that this is the most important thing, is my cup. And I will know when I get to do something that is a result of the change that I would like to see in the world. And you'll know when that is. But perhaps if this is feeling you're so beat up by it, perhaps it is time for you to do something different, for you to take that break, to step back, to shut out the noise that's going on in our world and have your own reprieve from it, so that you can uplift and build yourself, like what we're doing here. These are all messages to shine light on your path. You know what your truth is, and that's what's so needing also in our world, is to respect ourselves and to respect others and what is right for them. Right and wrong is only what we choose to agree with. because there's really no such thing. Right and wrong is only what resonates with us. And when we get that, then we can honor when someone says, I believe this. Okay, you can believe that. That's your right. I want the same thing. I believe this. Give me that same right. And like I said, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When someone is really open and ready to learn something new, they're going to accept it. But you can throw information at someone and facts all you want to, but if they're closed in their own knowing, you are just throwing pearls before swine. And it's not to say they're pigs, it's saying that they just don't know. They're not in a position of being open enough to go outside of their knowing and understanding. So that's where the analogy, that little foible of truth, it's like if I were to throw all my jewelry in a pig pen, it doesn't mean that they're any less. It's just they don't know. This is the information. This is something of value to me. It may not be of value to someone else even. It's of value to me. So know when to just, there's nothing to say. There's just nothing to say to someone who isn't open. And so if someone asks, or if someone finally says, well, with your silence, what do you have to say about it? Maybe that's your opening, that they have cracked the door for something new. So keep that in mind. Stay in your power. Do what's best for you. Embrace death. Embrace magic. And when you do, life becomes very different. It's more enriching. If we are in a constant state of avoidance of the possibility of our day of leaving this realm, or we're going to fight it every step of the way, and that's okay too. If that's your karma, if that's your dharma, if that's your journey that you get to do in this lifetime, I honor it. I honor your journey in whatever you choose. So let's do one more thing. I love these cards. Open the doors to dreaming. So let's see what tidbits that this has for this reading. Go through what you go through. That's beautiful. Go through what you go through. I always love that because they say, the saying says, the only way through the storm is through the storm. So to me, that's the same thing. You gotta move through it. So whatever's coming up for you at this time, you've got the strength and the power to endure it. All right, one more here. So this one is just breathe. We always want to keep breathing. It brings us into the moment, not into fear. It brings us back to our heart. There we go. If it hurts, it will heal. I love that. So, yes, this is beautiful. And with that card, if it hurts, it will heal. When we see the injustices of the world or things that it feels out of our reach, know that desire is a beautiful one. What you want wants you, and we do. As a collective, we are all. We're in a society that's really crying out for some change, and so know that with all of this, what do they say? For every 2 days there is a night. So know that when darkness comes, that there will always be light. So keep that in mind, that there will always be those moments where then we will have our reprieve. So I hope this finds you well and gives you maybe some gems to light your way again today. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. If you loved this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow.